Anointed and appointed writers, you are in for a treasure, not just a treat, but a treasure today. So many people who come to me and they want coaching to be able to write their book, then they have that book published and they're like, well, now I want to deliver my message and have maximum impact with my readers. I truly feel like the best thing that an author can do is to also have a coaching practice. So if you've ever wondered how to become a coach, I want to introduce you to Kelly J. Kelly, I have a question for you. You are the coach's coach. So no better person could I interview today. But I want to ask you, what's your coaching story? I read a little bit about your background in
Mm-hmm.
the Department of Justice at one time.
Yes. Thank you for having me on the podcast today. Pretty much my coaching story is that of many of us that might be in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, that we were sold the American dream of go to college and get a good job and get married and have kids and buy a house with a white picket fence and all the things. And we were never sold anything other than that. And what I discovered along the journey in working for the Department of Justice, there was some other desires that my heart had. And I had another assignment in my life, and that was to help people get to their next level. And I found through trials and tribulations, coaching to be that thing. And so now I help everyday people, whether they have a degree or a certification or not, I help everyday people use whatever their story is to help someone who's currently going through that now.
What do you wish more people knew about coaching?
Oh, such a loaded question. I wish they knew that this isn't something that you have to necessarily have a college degree for. I wish they knew that anyone can just start. I wish they knew that they're enough and that their story is enough, and that whatever you may have gone through, if you're watching this right now, whatever you may have gone through, it doesn't have to be in vain. Maybe you went through that thing and you're writing the book with Nika and whatnot. Maybe it was for so many other people that you're meant to pull out of it. What if you were the one with that assignment? I believe you are. That's one thing I truly, truly, truly hang my hat on and could stand on the mountaintops and shout, do it. Now is your time. You're already ready. You're equipped. You're able. You're worthy.
Yeah. I tell my writers, you don't have to be an expert, because that's what holds people back, is this feeling that they have to be an expert. Like, hey, I don't know if I'm qualified to write this book. So you don't have to be an expert. You just got to be a couple of steps ahead in line.
Right.
Just be a couple of steps ahead in line. You have something to share with the people that are following after you. And I feel like that's the same with coaching when you say,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tell people all the time, my boys are 13 and 15, but when they were 3 and 5, the 5-year-old taught the 3-year-old how to tie his shoes. Is the 5-year-old a shoe tying expert? Absolutely not, right? But could he teach the 3-year-old the basics of tying the shoe? Absolutely. And so as the 5-year-old got better at tying his shoes and doing other things, he teaches the 3-year-old how to do those things, and now they're 13 and 15, and it's still the same thing. Is he coaching his older brother? In a semblance, yes. Yes, and he's only 2 years ahead of him. I have a lot of people that come to me who have been through a divorce, for example, and they now realize, hey, my story does not have to be in vain, and they coach women who are going through a divorce. Their certificate, their PhD, is that they got through it sane. Think for a minute. If that's not you, just think for a minute. Would it help the person who has already overcome the divorce and is living their best life? Would it help them to talk to and coach the person that has not figured out how to get through sleepless nights, that has not figured out how to go back to work, that has not figured out how to work through his friends, my friends, and who were our friends, those types of things? So that is all it is.
so tell me about the coaches that you coach. Are they beginning coaches? Are they seasoned coaches? How
I
can
really have, yeah, that's a great question. I really have two different groups. I work with people who want to use their story, like I said, that don't know any of the things of how to start, how to set up their website, how to take payments, how to, structure their business, how to get on an enrollment call and facilitate that, how to put together a coaching program. So those are my beginner level people. I call those the aspiring coaches, and I work with them in cohorts to get their first 5 paid clients. A lot of the people in that group have been coaching people but not getting paid for it. They've been giving
Mhm.
advice. And although coaching is not advice, it's really asking questions in a particular way. And that's the skill set that you help them come to their own answers. So in that environment and in that coaching program, everybody's had less than 5 clients, 0 to 5 clients. And then once they get to having their 5 clients, then they're eligible to apply to my next level program, which is teaching how to go from one-on-one to a group coaching business model. Because once they start getting clients, they'll figure out really quickly, this is taking up a lot of my time. And while I love coaching, I don't love not going to my son's football game or my daughter's ballet practice or recital. I get them out of that one-to-one grind for time commitment and monetary cap, because you can only
Oh,
charge so much, right?
right.
So I teach them how to go into the group coaching business model. But I don't let new coaches come and go immediately to group coaching, because it just doesn't, I haven't found that to be the best. So I work
Mhm.
with the new and the seasoned.
And I found too that you gain so much skill so fast when you work one-on-one that you
Yeah,
don't want to miss that period of time if you're a new coach.
right.
You don't want to just jump right into group, because you're really sharpening your skills in that one-on-one setting so that you can be highly effective in a group.
That is 1000% true. You'll get to know what are the common questions that people ask. So, what should I put in my group coaching program? Where do people struggle from a skill set perspective and an emotional perspective? Two different things. That's a lot of things that a lot of coaches miss. They're just teaching the skill set, but you have to teach the mindset of the person trying to learn that skill set, right? So, when you're working in that one on one environment, you're getting to know what all of those things are, so that when you do put people in a group, it's a better chemistry.
Oh, then that chemistry, it's hard to put your finger on, what it is, but you have
Yes,
chemistry. And you're right. Once you learn to expect certain questions, you can kind of like, you expect their questions and you're already prepared with your questions in response to that. Yeah.
right. You're able to tell them, oh, this is very common, you
Yeah.
know. And then
Yeah.
you look like you're in control, because you are in control, and it just works well.
Right. And you're building something different, because I guess in a one-on-one setting, you're building that trust and relationship between you and the client. As in a group setting, you have to learn how to build trust and relationship, how facilitate them building that among
Yes.
one another, so that they'll be able to raise their hand and be coached in front of their peers.
Right, right.
Okay, so I know that when I've advised some of my writers, like, maybe you should be a coach, a lot of times they struggle with charging. Do you have some
Mm.
things that you can give them as far as direction, or to kind of, when they think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to talk to somebody, maybe it's just free advice. I'm like, listen, you need to charge for your coaching, and not just for your time, but for your coaching.
Yes, not just for your time, but for your coaching, your skill set. Listen, when you are coaching someone, you are giving them the shortcut to what you've already gone through, right? So that cost, would that, going back to the example, would that divorced woman or woman going through a divorce, would she rather have 2 years worth of sleepless nights, or would she pay a price to narrow that down to about 3 months? Like, how would she pay? And is that $20? Is it 50? Is it 1,000? What is it? She wants out of that pain. So you can absolutely charge for that. And there is your time, especially if you're someone that's using your story and you've hired Nika to, help you write that book. There is time. What if you want to go full time? What if you want to use your book as the lead in to become a coach? You can't go full time if you're charging someone Walmart prices.
That's right.
Right? Right. And the other thing too is I tell my clients, I'm like, listen, when you start, you get to decide, do you want to be a Walmart brand or do you want to be a Neiman Marcus brand, Nordstrom's brand, Gucci brand, Ferrari brand? What kind of brand do you want to be? Because everything that you do has to do with that. And one tip I want to put there too is when you are the cheapest, no one expects you to be the best.
Mm-mm.
And when you're the best, no one expects you to be the cheapest.
Mm-mm.
And you are the best at what you do because you're the only one with your unique story.
To frame it as they're paying for the shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
They're paying for access to your perspective as a coach. They just want to get near to find out, okay, how do you see this? What would you do here? And that is more value. We can't think in terms of being paid for our time because then we just minimize it. Oh, well, we remember what we were paid when we were a teacher. We remember what we were paid when we were whatever profession. It's like, no. You got a clean slate. You get to decide what you want to charge because you're your own boss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not answering to what somebody else says is the cap. If you want to be Gucci, you can do that.
You get to choose.
You get to choose.
Get to decide, and people can decide whether they want that thing or not. Mm-hmm. And know this, when you get into the coaching field, every yes lives in the land of no. So
and again, I want to write
this. People are so scared of the no. But if you operate like, how many no's can I get? Then you're not scared of the no. Every yes lives in the land of no. If you go into it knowing it could be a no, then no is okay. No is not a bad thing. No is space for the next person to come in. And you want to work with people who are energetically ready anyway.
Right.
So if they say no, or for me personally, if they even have to think about it, it's a no for me at that point. Because I want people that are just energetically leaning in to, I'm ready for this. This is what I'm doing. Let's go. Because if you got to drag people in, what I learned early on is when you have to drag them in, you also have to drag them around.
Yes.
If you know what I'm talking about, Nika.
Yes, it's exhausting.
Can you speak on it just a little bit?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
You think that, oh, they're gonna be ready once they get into my room, once they get into my coaching program, they're gonna be ready. And it's like, if they weren't ready, that was up to them. It wasn't up to me to make decisions for them. I want to coach them when they are ready, and then we can go a long way.
Yes, it's like dating a guy. Now I've been married 25 years, but I do coach a lot of people. So I know these little things. It's like dating a guy and thinking that he's going to change or that you're going to change them. They are who they are.
They are who they are. Right.
So you can love who they are. Yes, everyone changes and evolves as we get older and whatnot. But the core of who someone is.
When I was first coaching, and you mentioned enrollment calls. So people who are brand new to the idea of coaching, one of the things you're going to have to do is have an enrollment call, have that conversation with somebody who's looking to buy. They're deciding if they want to work with you. And sometimes at first, those calls can feel maybe intimidating. Then they become really fun. If they even have to think about it, it's a no for me. Because I have grown into that mentality as well. And in fact, I have written down somewhere that I read it every time I pass it. It's in my bedroom. I read it. I just say, I don't have to chase people. I'm worthy of pursuit. And I love being pursued by my best people.
Yes. Your best clients are waiting for you.
Yeah, they're waiting. If somebody is hesitating, let them go on their way and hesitate and figure it out. And you get to the people that are waiting.